Welcome back to RV News, the channel that brings you the latest, most in-depth, and most groundbreaking updates on the Iraqi Dinar, the Vietnamese Dong, and all things related to the long-anticipated revaluation. If you've been holding on to your currencies and waiting for that life-changing moment, today's report is one you absolutely cannot miss. What we are about to discuss could very well be the most significant development in years. Leak from the U.S. banking system itself, suggesting rates that no one thought would be possible just months ago. Imagine a $3 plus revalued Iraqi dinar and a $2 Vietnamese dong. Yes, you heard that right. This isn't speculation pulled from thin air. This is reportedly tied to direct system updates inside the American banking sector. In this video, we are going to unpack exactly what this means, what the sources are suggesting, how this could play out, and why so many people in the RV community are buzzing with excitement, hope, and also a bit of cautious skepticism. But first, thank you for tuning in to RV News, where we cut through the noise and bring you the latest intel, financial updates, and deep dives into the global currency reset and revaluation. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and stay connected, because every detail matters, and knowledge is power when it comes to the RV dot. So let's dive into the heart of this report. The chatter began when whispers started circulating in late-night currency forums, Telegram groups, and private insider circles, claiming that banks across the United States were testing new screens with updated international rates for exotic currencies. Most people have heard rumors of backscreen rates before, but this time, things got a lot louder because multiple sources confirmed that at least one major U.S. banking system temporarily displayed rates far higher than what has ever been considered realistic by mainstream economists. According to these leaks, the Iraqi dinar was showing rates north of $3, with some indications it could even settle around $3.45 in the initial phases. Meanwhile, the Vietnamese Dong was reportedly showing just under $2, with figures like $1.96 to $2.08 circulating among those who claim to have seen the numbers firsthand. To put this into perspective, these are not the usual placeholder rates or test figures that get tossed around. These are allegedly rates tied to updated software, linked to cross-border payment systems, and flagged as active but pending release. That small note pending release is what has ignited the frenzy we are seeing today. Let's pause and consider what this would mean if true. A $3 plus dinar changes the entire landscape. Holders of 25,000 dinar notes would suddenly be looking at values exceeding $75,000 per note. Those with even a modest stash of currency could find themselves transformed overnight into individuals with generational wealth. A dong at $2 would be no less shocking. With stacks of 500,000 dong, or even million dong notes still in circulation among collectors and investors. But math is staggering. A million dong at $2 means $1 million payout from what originally cost less than $50. It's the kind of story that makes skeptics roll their eyes, but it also explains why so many people have stayed in this space for years, waiting for exactly this kind of breakthrough moment. The potential for wealth creation here is simply beyond anything most people can wrap their minds around. And now, with leaks suggesting that these rates are not just fantasy, but actually embedded in U.S. banking systems, hope has been reignited at a level we haven't seen in years. The next question that everyone is asking is, how reliable are these leaks? Let's be clear, banks don't like leaks. They guard their systems with the utmost security. Yet, history has shown us that every major financial rollout, whether it's new software, rate adjustments, or regulatory changes, tends to leave breadcrumbs. Employees, contractors, and sometimes even bank customers catch glimpses of things before they're meant to be public. In this case, We've had multiple independent confirmations that screenshots, albeit heavily redacted to protect identities, have surfaced showing dinar and dong rates far beyond the usual fractions of a cent. Some skeptics argue these could be test numbers. But here's the kicker. Why would test rates be set so high, so specifically, and be consistent across different bank systems? If you're running a simulation, you don't risk creating panic or false expectations by setting rates to realistic realization levels. You use placeholders like $1 or $10, but the reported figures $3.45 for IQD and just under $2 for VND line up with long-standing insider whispers about contract rates and global reset tiers. That consistency is why so many are convinced that this is more than just a system glitch. Another important element here is timing. Why now? Why would the U.S. banking system be running updates showing these kinds of numbers in 2025? Well, we need to look at the broader geopolitical and economic landscape. Iraq has been moving steadily toward finalizing its economic reforms, stabilizing its currency, and expanding international trade partnerships. Just this year, Iraq finalized new agreements with both China and the European Union, strengthening its financial position. Meanwhile, the Central Bank of Iraq has been openly discussing de-dollarization, moving away from dependence on the US dollar and working toward reinstating the dinar to its rightful place among global currencies. These moves align perfectly with the idea of a stronger dinar. Similarly, Vietnam has seen extraordinary growth. Its manufacturing sector is booming, foreign investment is pouring in, and it has become one of the fastest-growing economies in Asia. For years, analysts have said the dong is undervalued. If the global reset is indeed in motion, a $2 dong would not only correct years of suppression, but also elevate Vietnam to a stronger global position in trade and finance. The puzzle pieces are lining up in a way we've never seen before. Of course, with every big claim comes big skepticism. Economists will tell you that such massive leaps in currency values are impossible, destabilizing, and unworkable. But remember, what we're talking about here isn't a traditional market-driven revaluation. This is part of a larger, coordinated global financial restructuring. It's tied to debt forgiveness, asset-backed currencies, and the transition to a new financial system underpinned by real value rather than endless fiat printing. That's why these numbers, while shocking, are not being dismissed outright by those in the know. In fact, many insiders argue that these kinds of rates are not only possible but necessary to balance global wealth distribution and to allow countries like Iraq and Vietnam to emerge from decades of financial suppression. The RV community is buzzing with excitement, but also with questions. When will this happen? How soon can we walk into a bank and exchange our notes? Based on the information tied to this leak, it seems that the systems are being prepped and tested right now. That means we are closer than ever. Some insiders are suggesting that redemption appointments could begin within days of the official release. Others caution that while the rates are showing, we might still be weeks or even months away from full activation, as geopolitical negotiations and last-minute adjustments take place. But one thing is clear. The presence of these numbers in the system means the RV is not just a dream. It's real, it's imminent, and it's closer than it has ever been. This brings us to the practical side of things. What should currency holders do? If you've been in this space for years, you know the mantra. Stay calm, be prepared, and don't let hype push you into rash decisions. If the dinar does indeed come out above $3 and the dong near $2, the wealth transfer will be unlike anything seen in modern history. But it also means banks will be busy, redemption centers will be active, and there will be procedures in place to ensure a smooth rollout. Patience and preparation will be key. Make sure your currencies are safely stored, your documentation is ready, and you have a plan for how to handle your newfound wealth. Remember, financial windfalls can be blessings or burdens depending on how they're managed. Seek professional advice, plan ahead, and think generationally. This is about more than quick riches. It's about creating stability for yourself, your family, and your community. Let's also not forget the global implications. A revalued dinar and dong at these levels would send shockwaves through the international financial system. It would signify a massive redistribution of wealth, new alliances, and the dawn of a multipolar financial world. The U.S., long the dominant force in global currency, would have to adjust to a landscape where Iraq and Vietnam suddenly wield far more economic power. That shift is part of the reason why many believe the RV is linked to broader global reset agendas and the introduction of new asset-backed systems. Gold, silver, oil, and other tangible resources are expected to play a role in stabilizing these new values. If that's the case, then what we're witnessing isn't just about two currencies. It's about the entire global economy stepping into a new era. As we wrap up today's report, the bottom line is this: the leaked U.S. bank system rates showing a $3 dinar and a $2 dong are sparking a frenzy for good reason. These numbers represent the hopes and dreams of millions who have held on to their currencies through years of doubt and delay. While skepticism is natural and caution is wise, the fact that these figures